Now, in this video, we're going to look at how to calculate averages for each day of the week. Maybe we want to know what each department is doing on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. These are very useful if we want to know, like, for instance, things like staffing, which day of the week do we have to bring in the most staff, and so forth. So I'm going to start a new table below my others, and I'm going to create one for sales, and I'm going to copy my department names from previous tables, and I'm going to create another one for cost. And likewise, I'm going to copy my department names. Now, since I'm doing days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then what I don't want to label my columns with specific dates. I want to just use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And again, you can feel free to type these out or try to let the format painter figure out what you mean. And then once you have them, copy them into the next thing. For a future video, I'm going to go ahead and make another copy of this for profit later on. All right, now just for the sales and the cost, what we have to do is we have to find our values that correspond to those particular days of the week. Now, one caution here is that these specific dates will change what day of the week they are on from year to year. So it is important, if you're provided day of the week information, that you stay with that day of the week information. So March 21 is not a Monday every year. It's a Monday in some particular given years every 5 to 7 years, depending on how the leap years fall. Or longer if it misses one. So you want to stick with these days. So we're being told March 21st is a Monday and March 28th is a Monday. And then if we scroll down, April 4th is a Monday. So those are the Mondays. And so we want to collect those and calculate the average for those days in our Monday column for that department. So it's an average, and then we're going to average together sales for our first department, comma, because they're not consecutive. We're only doing individually selected cells, not ones that are all in a row. And then the next one, and then comma, and then we find our last one. And then when you close that, now, the awesome thing about having everything properly organized is that you don't have to do this for every single row. If you choose the right columns to choose from. Now, here I selected data from the original raw data, and that's probably not the easiest way to set up this table. Because we organized our data into just sales, it's probably easier to select those corresponding days from our reorganized data. So the formula still basically works the same way. We're just pointing at slightly different formulas. So the 21st, the 28th, and the 4th. We have to figure out where they are Monday in the original data. But then if we select them from this reorganized data, that's going to make our life easier, because when I copy this over, it's going to readjust all the formulas by one cell, which in the reorganized data is the next day of the week and not the cost data for that day of the week. And so if I use the original data, I'm going to have to create this entire row of formulas individually, and then I can copy them down. But if I use the reorganized data, then I can actually just do it one time and copy it across the row, and this will calculate all the individual data, because the individual sales data is right next to each other in this reorganized section. And then once I have that entire row done, then I can drag it down and it will do the whole thing. And then once I have that done, as long as everything is spaced evenly, and I've been very careful about leaving the same number of spaces between each of my tables, I can then again copy and paste and not have to reconstruct all of those formulas again. So once I've calculated these values, then I can go on and I can do some additional calculations on them. This data I can use as, again, a staffing, or what are they doing on different days of the week. I can see that sometimes I get good data, sometimes I have good days or bad days, but the overall values are going to be picked from these. Now, what I will also suggest is that if you are not sure that the formulas are copying correctly, you can click on them and then you can go up and see where the formulas were taken from. So this formula is supposed to be B26, that is that Monday, and I26, which is right here, and P26, which is right here. So they are pointing at the correct cost values, and that's a good sign that the rest of the table is filled out correctly. One additional thing to kind of keep in mind, in Excel, they will highlight the cells, but they don't seem to be doing that in Sheets. But you can still look at the cells and point at, okay, yes, verify this is the correct cell. When you do that copying and pasting, especially if you're not sure if everything is lined up correctly, it's good to do at least a spot check to make sure that the values that you have are pointing at the right locations. Because if you make a mistake in one of those cell references, then that's going to propagate through every calculation you base on that error. And that's sort of the point of spreadsheets, is you can break all of these up and then you can calculate from previous calculations. But then the good thing is, if you have to update one of the values, it will propagate through all of the formulas. You won't have to redo them. So it's still a good thing to make sure that you've verified that everything is pointing where you need it to point. Okay, in the next video, we're going to talk about other ways to do overall calculations, because the overall calculations, like the overall daily averages, those are the best for doing the graphs, doing the bar graphs and the pie charts and things like that we'll do later on.